January. A new year filled with new possibilities, New Year's resolutions, the sense of personal achievement, and new Apple event. Yeah, that's right, our long national drought of Apple-related speculation has come to an end.
Tim Cook, new iPads, new iPhone, new MacBook, HomePad.
Prepare for the same Apple YouTubers to make 30 videos in a row that cover every intricate 3D render of the iPhone 17, only for them to ultimately be proven wrong, and it looks exactly the same as the last one. But not here at Greg's Gadgets. We have self-respect and dignity here on this channel, and we only make those videos at most like 5 times a year. It's an improvement. But forget the iPhone 17, because there's another iPhone coming out. No. We're talking about iPhones, and there's one coming out sooner than the usual September timeframe. And there's another event that's only a few months away. Of course, I am talking about Apple's early 2025 event, and it could end up being one of the more exciting events of the year because Apple is releasing a product in almost every category, and they're also giving us a glimpse at a product that they've never made before. But it is 2025, it is a new year, and if you're anything like me, one of your resolutions is to finally get more organized. And let's be real, every year I say I'll be more on top of things, but this time I've actually found something that's helping me stick to it, and that is Notion. Now, if you've never heard of Notion before, let me break it down. It's not just some basic note-taking app, it is a supercharged organizer that combines notes, time management, and project planning all in one place. And it's been a game changer for keeping my life and work in check. I know what you're thinking though. This looks super complicated. Did you spend hours setting up all those fancy pages? That's where Notion's templates come in clutch. They've got thousands of free and paid templates that are basically plug and play. I found this awesome project and tasks template, and it's been a lifesaver for organizing my YouTube videos and future projects. And it's not only keeping your work and projects up to date too. I have templates for my personal stuff too, whether that's planning a trip, managing expenses, or even creating a reading list. I'm trying to read a lot more books this year, and Notion is helping me keep that healthy habit on track. And we can all certainly use a little help from time to time, which is also why I've been using Notion's AI to help me brainstorm some ideas. For example, I used this during my iPhone 16 review, and I asked Notion AI to help me brainstorm some areas a reviewer might cover. And something new and fun for the new year is Notion Faces. This is a fun feature that lets you create your own custom portrait inside Notion. You can mix and match between hand-drawn illustrations to capture your personality and style. Just look at this little guy. He's handsome, just like me. To give Notion a shot for yourself, click the link in the description below, and I promise once you start using it, you'll wonder how you ever manage without it. All right, let's start off with one of the more exciting upgrades this year for the budget iPhone shoppers, the new iPhone SE, which is going to receive a massive upgrade.
Massive, dude.
In fact, this upgrade is so massive.
And you know what else is massive?
Apple is likely to change the name of this product to the iPhone 16e. The iPhone 16e would ditch the old design of the iPhone SE. So no more home button, no more giant top and bottom bezel, no more small 4.7-inch LCD display, no more lightning port. Yeah, basically the design of the iPhone SE will basically shift to an iPhone 14, but with a USB-C port. The iPhone SE finally made for the modern world, complete with Face ID. Unfortunately, one of the cost-cutting measures is it will still be shipping with a notch instead of the current dynamic island design present on the more current iPhone models. Still, in terms of design and display specs, it is a huge upgrade over the old iPhone SE. And more importantly, the internal specs on this are going to be an insane value when compared to the regular iPhone 16 and even the iPhone 16 Pro. That means not only the same A18 chip, but also the same 8 GB of memory. And the main reason for this is Apple wants the iPhone 16e to be capable to run Apple Intelligence features. And for Apple Intelligence, you need at a minimum 8 GB of memory. Even the rear camera is going to be a massive improvement over the current SE. I said it again.
Massive, dude.
Moving from a 12 megapixel sensor to the same 48 megapixel sensor found on the iPhone 16e. However, the interesting thing about this design is apparently it's still going to be a one camera design. That means For opting for this phone, you are going to be giving up the ultra-wide angle camera. Still, that doesn't really matter to me. I mean, a 48 megapixel sensor brings a lot of the benefits over from the main camera system, including an enhanced digital crop zoom. So this should still be a great camera system, despite it only having one lens. One of the more interesting rumors regarding this device is it will apparently be Apple's first device to ship with their own 5G design modem, which could either be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how it stacks up against the reliable Qualcomm modems found in our current iPhone 16s. Of course, the main selling point of this phone will be the more affordable price point, and most rumors seem to indicate around a $500 price point. That puts it above where the current iPhone SE pricing is, but not by much. But more importantly, it puts it $300 away from the starting price of the iPhone 16. Now, while I think the iPhone 16e is the most exciting product Apple will launch at this 2025 event, there are more products coming. One of the most likely will be an update to the MacBook Air. The first would be an upgrade from the M3 chip to the M4 chip. Big surprise, right? But that carries with it a standard of 16 gigabytes of memory, which isn't a surprise because Apple even updated the old MacBook Airs to get 16 gigabytes of memory. But yeah, basically a faster M4 chip. That also means that it will now support 2 external monitors natively, which is a pretty big upgrade for the Air. And because the M4 chip is more efficient, we should also see around a 2-hour battery boost to the M4 MacBook Air. I would also assume we would see the new 12 megapixel center stage webcam make its way to the MacBook Air, and possibly an option for a nano texture display, just like you can get on the new M4 MacBook Pro and iMac. So pretty much a spec bump upgrade with a few features from the new M4 MacBook Pro thrown in. Don't expect any major design updates or any major feature changes here, but a welcome update to be sure. Speaking of a spec bump change, this one is actually pretty exciting if you value a budget price device with amazing performance. That, of course, would be an update to Apple's lowest cost product, or one of their lowest cost products, the regular iPad, which will be getting an update to its 11th generation. Now, in terms of design, the display specs, the speaker, the camera, all that stuff, right? Don't expect any major upgrades here. This is going to be the same old iPad design as we have now, but internally, that is where it's going to get a drastic upgrade. That's because Apple is rushing to update all of their products to get Apple Intelligence, just like the iPhone 16e. And the lowest end chip that is capable of running Apple Intelligence right now is the A17 Pro chip. And right now, the current iPad has an A14 chip in it. And while that chip is still pretty great for a budget device, it does have a number of drawbacks, including a limited amount of memory. It just has 4 gigabytes. Like I said before, Apple Intelligence needs at least 8 gigabytes of memory to run. So not only will this iPad be getting a more powerful chip, but it will also be getting double the memory of the old model, meaning it can run apps longer in the background and run apps that require much more power. For example, Apple's video editing app Final Cut Pro does not run on the current iPad, but with an A17 Pro chip, even Apple's budget $350 iPad would be able to run this application. And that's really the magic here, $350 for an iPad that is going to get a 3-chip generation boost and double the amount of memory available to it. Plus, like the iPad mini, it is likely to get double the base storage, now starting at 128 gigabytes. And that, without a doubt, would be the best valued product in Apple's entire history, nay, probably the entire tech world. But yes, for the most part, this Apple event is basically compromise of spec bumps or remix products with a Frankenstein assembly of older parts, mostly geared at Apple's budget-minded consumers. But there is one outlier product at this event that may make quite a splash, and that is Apple entering a new product category it has not entered before. That would be what the current rumors are calling the HomePad, or a new Apple smart display that isn't a mobile device. Well, actually, it might kind of be. But it is something that is intended to be more stationary, so you place it at your desk or on your kitchen countertop. The HomePad is rumored to be about the size of 2 iPhones side by side, with a 6 to 7 inch display, a FaceTime camera, speakers, and interestingly enough, it is also rumored to have a battery in it, meaning it could be able to be moved around easily. And that's where it's kind of weird. It's like, wait, it's gonna have a battery in it? How is that gonna work? You're gonna like put it there and then maybe charge it later? Can you mount it to like a wall easily? And then maybe the battery itself is removable and that's all you have to charge and then you don't have to do any wiring or anything like that? It's going to be interesting to see how Apple pulls that off. Now, for the user interface, the HomePad is rumored to run a new operating system that is based on a mix of watchOS coupled together with a similar user interface to the iPhone standby mode, and the user interface will dynamically adapt based on how far away the user is from the display. Apple is also planning to let users customize the home screen with widgets and quick access to smart home controls. Furthermore, this device would run a lot of Apple's existing apps like Safari, Calendar, Music, Notes, Reminders, and others. Obviously, the majority of the interaction with the HomePad will be through voice control with Siri, complete with Apple Intelligence. Think of this device as a smart speaker assistant like the HomePod, but with even more capabilities thanks to Apple Intelligence and a more visual experience thanks to a built-in display. The device will highlight Apple's renewed push into the smart home market in general, and there could be an even bigger list of dedicated smart home accessories made completely by Apple. Personally, I'm excited for this device because I currently use a Nest Home in my house, and I would love to have an Apple version of that product that better integrates into the existing Apple ecosystem. However, a device like this needs to be priced right. This is not a primary device like an iPhone or an iPad. It is a novelty, something you really don't need, but might be helpful to have around the house, which leads to some pricing constraints that Apple has not had a great track record on. Listen, we just talked about the cheapest iPad that is coming, and it's going to be $329. A smart home device like this would essentially have to have around the same specs as that new rumored iPad if it wants to run Apple Intelligence. But I don't think that product would do well at $329. It kind of needs to be cheaper. Apple should have learned their lesson from the initial HomePod pricing and realized that an Apple smart home display should be priced lower. I think at a minimum, it has to be priced around $200 for this to have a real chance at capturing the smart home market. So while I'm excited for this product and I want Apple to get into more product categories, I'm also hesitantly cautious as we approach this event and just looking at their previous product announcements. Like, they announced the HomePod at $350. So is there any way this thing will be cheaper than that? But yes, the event is kind of right around the corner. When can we expect it to happen? Well, maybe not right around the corner. I mean, we still have a little ways to go. In terms of, the grand scale of the universe, it's quite short though. Apple usually hosts an event sometime during the spring, with most of these events taking place in March or at the latest April. And I don't see why we should expect anything different this year, so expect some sort of Apple event announcement in March. But yes, these are all the products we can expect for Apple's first 2025 event. Let me know what product you are most excited to see and which one do you think is going to be the showstopper? I think it's going to be the iPhone 16A. But if you like this video, make sure you give me a like. If you want to see more, make sure you're subscribed. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.